Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, we're coming here with a podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. As always, go to YouTube.com/Chris Voss and hit the bell notification button. Go to Goodreads.com/Chris Voss. You can see our Goodreads giveaway we're doing over there for my new book coming out next month. And you can also go to all the groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all those places the crazy cool kids are at. Today we have an amazing guest on the show. His name is Josh Elledge, and he is a serial entrepreneur. He's built companies and around the world. And you know what, Josh, I'm going to let you handle this because I'm trying to use your bio and it's not working. So we'll cut this and edit. Tell us who you are.
Pretend you didn't hear that. Pretend you didn't hear that.
Yeah. So Josh, give me your bio.
Yeah, for sure. So listen, I was, originally from West Michigan. I was in the U.S. Navy for 5 years. I was a Navy journalist. I actually got to meet Adrian Cronauer from Good Morning Vietnam, the real guy, not Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
Adrian, he just completely changed the trajectory of my life, because until then, I was thinking journalism or broadcasting or whatever. It sounds like it'd be a fun job. I like playing music. Whatever. I could do that. Like, it sounds fun. But what he really taught was this concept of, serving audiences and that sacred obligation that we have to, when you've got an audience, what our role is. And of course, if you know the story, he was in a position where he had to choose, do I keep spouting off the propaganda, or do I share my honesty? And who really is my chain of command? And so ultimately he chose his audience, got in a little bit of trouble short term, but he was recognized as a hero later for his ability to kind of stand up for truth and right, doing the right thing. So yeah, from there, I was in for 5 years. I was at my last year, Chris, I was a DJ. That was my job in the U.S. military. Is I got to play music on I did a morning show in the Aleutian Islands for a very small spy base it was, back then we were just kind of listening in on Ivan. But from there, I wanted to be a love doctor I wanted to be a love doctor on the radio. So I went to just on the road from where you are temporarily, BYU, and studied family science and started doing that. And then I fell in love with the internet in a healthy way, where I was learning how to design websites. Yeah, not the unhealthy
I like
way.
The inference there.
Yeah. But I, became an internet developer, and that then led to a string of businesses. Some of them were successful. I worked in corporate for a few years, then went on my own. Some of them I failed pretty miserably at, just kind of doing my own thing, just because there were a lot of lessons in business I really hadn't learned yet. I was so naive. And there, quite frankly, I had a lot of hangups. I had a lot of fears that kind of crept in. But then eventually, January 2007, I launched Savings Angel. Savings Angel went on to become a 6-figure-a-month company. And, we just kind of focused on helping consumers cut their grocery bill in half. It was a membership-based website. We really kind of rode that wave of extreme couponing, because we came up with this technology, which basically was like, listen, you don't have to you don't have to be an extreme couponer. We'll just tell you exactly what to do so you can get the exact same deals that these other guys are getting. And so just subscribe to our service. It's $20 a month, and we'll help you save, $200, $300, $400 a month. And it worked. It was a great service, but then consumers kind of lost interest in coupons as a whole. And as a result, that had kind of been sliding down. Meanwhile, I had developed and I had built Savings Angel with 0 paid ads. We did about $7 million in revenue. And I got all of that exposure from being in the media. So I got really good at that. Locally here in Orlando, we now live, I've done over 700 TV segments. Wow. I've been writing a syndicated newspaper column for over 10 years. And that's all I do for quote unquote advertising, is I just serve audiences, a la Adrian Cronauer. And so meanwhile, about 7 years ago, I had kind of been teaching on this. I was serving pro bono in our local startup communities, working with veteran-owned businesses, minority women-owned businesses, just anyone I could, serving on boards, pro bono workshops, that sort of thing. Well, the funny thing happens when you just start going out and doing nice things for people is people become aware of what your skills are. And then even if you're giving them away for free, it will lead to opportunities. Mm-hmm. And I accidentally started UpMyInfluence. And today, again, another 7-figure company. Where we kind of started with helping our clients get tons of media coverage. What we found is when I would ask Chris the question, why do you want media? Sometimes it was ego, right? I want to be known. I want to be famous. But most of the time, it came down to some sort of a sales equation. They want to make money with it. And so we really just kind of focused on, okay, well, how can we get you attention, but attention that's going to drive sales? And then we just kept on obsessing on the sales component. And today, as a company, UpMyInfluence, that's all we do now is we just got so obsessive on the sales component. Most of our clients were consultants, agencies, B2B service providers, so that we really kind of developed this method of leveraging generosity and platform to get sales. So now as a company at UpMyInfluence, that's all I do is I help consultants, agencies, and so forth make a ton more money by, again, just being much more generous in life.
And you've been doing this since 2014?
Well, so UpMyInfluence. So it's about 7 years into Savings Angel. That's where I'm like, you get to this point. I've always, I love doing nice things for people, particularly in a way where I know in my heart, I'm not doing it from an ulterior motive. Like I'm doing it because it feels good. I do it because it's the right thing to do. I do it because I had mentors in my professional life that I'm forever grateful to. And so whether or not you've quote unquote made it or not, if you want to be happier in life, go do stuff for people of which there are no perceived payoffs, immediate payoffs. Just go plant seeds because here's what'll happen is where you plant your seed is not necessarily where you're going to reap your harvest.
That sounds like my dating life. No, that's a joke. Anyway, I could not let that one get by. So this is awesome. And then you have a podcast too, as well.
Yeah, I've done a few episodes. So UpMyInfluence, as of when we're recording this right now, I believe we have about 1,050 episodes in the can. Oh, wow. I record. This is crazy for any other podcasters listen. This usually blows people's minds when I ask, well, how many episodes do you do a week? And most podcasts are, do a single episode a week. I record about 12 to 15 episodes a week. And I'm just booking off like 30-minute meetings with, as many guests as I can. My job is just to do good, build relationships, and see what happens in those relationships. What I find is that when you network with people that are just doing stuff in business, opportunities are going to happen. And those opportunities make it all worthwhile. So I'm very thoughtful about, who I invite to be a guest on The Thoughtful Entrepreneur, which is our daily podcast. But right now, episodes right now, Chris, this is crazy. Just think about, and I know you'll appreciate this just from a podcast production and operation to logistics perspective. But right now, when people book with me, they have to wait. So it's September 28th right now is when we're recording this. Sorry if that messes with any kind of illusion of production schedules and so forth. Okay, so we're recording this. Right now, I'm about 2.5 months is my next available slot to record. I am booked between now and 2.5 months from now with generally about 12 to 15 interviews every week that's how far in advance I'm booked right now. Yeah. And all of those people are potential business partners. I'm going to find out if there's some way I can help them. I'm going to find out if there's some way that they can help me. Like we're just going to network together. That's our business model. That's all I do is I'm a big time collaborator. I love finding ways of like, oh, you do this. oh, I do this. I've got an audience. You've got this. What can we do together? And so then we just figure it out.
That's awesome.
It's a great way of doing business.
That's awesome. We do up to 2 a day, so that's 10 a week. Max.
That's amazing.
Depends on how busy I am.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing it a long time like you have, it's not hard. I mean, I think we're just right behind you in numbers. We're in the 800s. It's interesting. Hey, quit booking like successful authors on the show and book people you can do business with.
Yes.
I'll yell at my staff. No, it's in it. That's a really interesting model that they can have where you can have people on the show, talk to them, see if they're simpatico with people in the business. That's pretty smart.
You think about like when you go to, say, an event, like I don't know about you, but I always derive my greatest value from conferences, events, and so forth at the mixers, just talking to people. What do you do? Oh, very cool. Hey, let's chat next week and see if there's something we should be doing together, right? And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What I'm talking about, I recommend a book, Bob Burg, Go Givers, Sell More. Honestly, it's how I live my life, right? When you lead with generosity, so most people lead with a scarcity mindset. They're like, I'm going to sell this guy. I'm going to sell my product to this guy. I'm going to make some money right here, right? Just easy. Take it easy on that. Take your sales hat, put it on a shelf. Just be a nice person. Just chill out and relax. It will feel inefficient because gurus have been out there telling you to sell to everyone, everyone and anything, right? And put them on some kind of automated autopilot and stuff. And what's happened is that marketers and people in sales have become so inhuman that consumers are revolting against that. We hate being sold to. We hate being advertised and marketed to. And so instead, what we're craving is just human connection. And so when you show up and you've got some stuff going on and you're just there to show up and be a friend and just connect and find out if there's anything you could do, right? I'm not talking about giving away thousands of dollars of your time or whatever, but what are the small things that you can do? Intros. Can you buy their book and leave a review? That doesn't cost that much money. I do that all the time. And so those sorts of things are high value for the other person. This is like simple Dale Carnegie, how to influence people stuff. I mean, just, if you want to go to the level of, hey, eventually you're going to want something out of it, just trust that process. And
there you go.
Yeah, opportunities, you will be swimming in opportunities before too long.
Yeah, that sure beats what I get on my LinkedIn, where it's just like sell. They don't even qualify you. They're like, hey man, I got some really great bras, and we got great deals on bras this week. And you're like, dude, did you even qualify me? Do you even know that I don't wear bras? I mean, at least not on weekdays.
Get those emails, get those those people sliding into DMs all the time. They haven't even looked at your profile. It's just spray and pray. And it's just so slimy. And it's why people, avoid that. So your ideal customer is, listen, to the legit great business owners out there. If you are doing with the slimy marketers or do anywhere near what they are doing, it's not your fault that it's not working. The waters have been overfished. And so as a result, you're just going to have to rehumanize all of your communication. You're going to have to just treat people the way that you want to be treated. Honestly, how do you buy what you buy? How did you develop that relationship? Do that and do it at a grand scale, like, meet and talk to lots of people.
Yeah, most definitely. So you guys, you have the podcast, you do the help with coaching and all the different models. Is there anything we haven't touched on or covered yet?
Well, no, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So, again, I want to talk on this, right? And so like what I see as working in business today, if you really want to know what Josh Elledge's kind of 3 principles of success are, I would say number 1 is you're just going to have to manage your authority online. And what I mean by that is you can't expect to just be charming on a call or on a live stream or a webinar or however you're engaging with people, and that's it. People are going to buy from you. That's not what consumers do, right? And everyone's a consumer. I keep using the word consumer. I don't care if you sell B to G, B to B, whatever, B to A, I don't know, whatever you, B to whatever, right? Okay, everyone's a consumer. We all think like consumers. And I will tell you that in particular, if you're selling to successful business owners, you will never meet a more protective, guarded group of folks just because they just get inundated with stuff. Chris, a la like what you were talking about, right? So what I mean by managing your authority is here's what's going to happen. Right now, Chris, someone's listening to me. They see my name, Josh Elledge. All right, I don't know who's this guy, right? It sounds like he's got a couple of good ideas.
Sounds like me all the time.
So
who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. So you are here. Chances are you're hearing me for the very first time. You don't know me. You don't really trust me at this point. So if I were to make assumptions about what you're probably going to do, if I've said anything that interests you, you're not going to buy my stuff. You don't know and like and trust me enough to buy my things yet. That's okay. Here's what you're probably going to do. You're probably going to hit up Google. You'll be like, yeah, let's see who Josh really is, right? And so they're going to hit up Google. Well, here's the thing. I know you're going to hit up Google. So what am I going to do? I'm going to work hard to make sure that my vanity search results are okay, right? I can't control it 100%, but I'm at least going to try to produce a lot of content where if you Google Josh Elledge, you're either going to find me or you're going to find the guy that was on The Bachelorette for one episode. There was another Josh Elledge. So
he was on The Bachelor. I thought
so he was, but I don't even think he made it past the tryouts. But I tell you what, man, rough. If there's something that'll jack up your SEO, have someone named Chris Voss, there is a famous Chris Voss, right? Yeah. So that's always a little confused. But anyway, but I know that, right? And so not only do I know that one of the first results that you're likely going to see when you Google my name is going to be my LinkedIn profile. Now, in the business world, in the B2B world, LinkedIn, just for the profiles, is a great place to lay out a good 411 written in a format of here's why you should get to know me. Here's everything, that if you're going to give me 30 seconds of your time, here's the least you should probably know about me. So I know that people that are checking me out are probably going to land on my LinkedIn. They're going to look at it. And then they are going to make a decision whether or not to continue in that relationship. And they might say, nah, I got enough here. Now I know who he is. They've satisfied their curiosity. Or I could pique their curiosity and say, hey, look, here's the next step in a potential relationship. You can watch this video where I'm going to give you more and more and more value, right? So the goal here ultimately is you want to communicate, your true authority. So you'll find, unfortunately, I can't use the logos or anything like that, but, you'll probably find out, okay, Josh has spoken for the Tony Robbins organization. Josh has been on TV or been in the media over 2,000 times. These are indicators of authority. Okay, I communicate that not because I need for my own ego, but I want you to know, okay, he's probably had a few people check him out and they kind of gave him the pass. We're always earning attention, 5 to 10 seconds at a time. And so your goal ultimately is proximity. Proximity leads to familiarity. Then we develop what's called familiarity bias, right? Where eventually, Chris, if someone gets to talk with you, if they've been listening to your podcast for any length of time, they're going to show up. They're going to be like, Chris, oh man. And you'll be like, hey, great to meet you. It's like why we run up to celebrities and, I was in a green room with Huey Lewis and I'm like trying so hard to play it cool. I was not able to play it cool because I'm like, I knew him so well because of his body of work. But that's what we want to do. Make it insanely easy for people to get to know you and fall in love with you. Right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's number one authority.
In my case, it's insanely easy to get to know me and then just sincerely hate me. That's also my dating strategy.
Right.
No, people do that to me all the time. I go to events and they'll run up to me and they'll scream, "The Chris Voss Show!" And
Yeah.
you're just like, security. Like you're just, and you don't even know who they are. You're just like, yeah, you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they're like, I watch you all the time. You're just like, well, okay. Now I'm really creeped out.
But I mean, if let's say, like for example, like Chris, how does the Chris show? Can I ask, how does the Chris Voss Show make money?
Wait, you're supposed to make money with this crowd? Like, are we supposed to be making money? I'm not getting paid for this crap.
In a perfect world, right? In a world, one man, one microphone.
We sell ads, but it's like what you say, for the most part, the show is you give it and everything else, revolves around everything, the YouTube channels and all the stuff. But, we make money off of ads, advertising.
Yeah. Excellent.
Pre-rolls.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, if you love Chris, please engage with his sponsors. Please engage with his ads. It really, that's how you can show the love. And it really matters. Just speaking on behalf of, independent creatives out there and creators out there, been in the podcast world forever. Like it makes like to the average listener, it's like, okay, I'm going to click on this ad and, buy this. Like it doesn't make every sale makes a huge difference to someone who's an independent creator. So, so we leverage, familiarity then leads to, so proximity leads to familiarity. Familiarity leads to know, like, and trust. That's who we do business with. And authority is your way of earning that trust along the way so you can keep earning attention, 5-10 seconds at a time. That's true. That's number one. So authority is very, very important to success today in business, I'd say. Number two, can I continue or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So number two would be generosity, right? And so here's the thing. You can't, I do tons of I've done tons of media consulting, coaching, like I've done tons, 700 TV segments, over 700 TV segments alone. Okay. You cannot fool audiences. Okay. If you have whatever your motive is, we all know it. We all know what you're up to. You can't fool audiences. Unless you're like an amazing actor, certainly if you are in sales and you want to make a sale and you want to make a commission or something like that, we all know it. We could tell you that before, within seconds of you walking in the room. You give off that energy. So never before have consumers been more dialed into and guarded, quite frankly, against being sold to. So if I can just encourage you, if you want to make more money in business, you got to chill out on that. You got to wake up in the morning, and I know what it's like to wake up and say, shit, I got to pay the bills. I don't have any money. But when your heart is in a place of who can I move from, who can I sell to today to who can I serve today? Okay. There's going to be it's going to feel a little less effective initially, but then what's going to happen is it starts catching up with you, right? And who can I serve today all of a sudden opens doors that never would have been open to you because people know the true intent of your heart and they just are naturally attracted to that. They don't even know that you've got anything for sale. They just know, how can I spend more time around this person here? Because I feel like they're good for me. Like that's what you want to evoke. Do that. I promise you, listen, for someone who's listening to me right now and you're struggling in business, been there, done that, right? Follow this advice for a good solid 60, 90 days and watch what happens. Watch what happens. The gurus that are telling you that you're going to be an overnight success and all this other stuff, one funnel away, blah, 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 right? They're selling a lot of their shit. But you're not, I have been to culty marketing events where I hear advice from the stage, and this is a very, very well-known tactic. And I'm going to be very cautious here because this gets into some shared experiences here. This is a very well-documented cult tactic. Give audiences or give parishioners or followers bad advice so that they will go out and they will fail for and it's very intentional.
Is that what's going on when I see that? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Wow. And there are some really, really big gurus. I think have done some good work in other areas, but then I've seen them on stage and where they here's a script. Just call someone right now. Pick up your phone and call someone and just read them this script. And it's the most horrible, scammy, fake sounding thing. And it's absolutely designed for them to fail. So that then the idea is it's not for their success. It's because you want that person to come back into the tribe, into the family where it's safe and they can get validation and they're loved and then you love bomb them, right? And then, pay 10% of your money, pay, $5,000 and all your wildest dreams will come true, right?
Yeah. That's
what it's designed for. And again, forgive me if I'm stepping on some toes right there. I definitely am. It's all designed. It's not for the success of the effort. It's for that individual, keeping that individual person in the tribe.
There you go. So we covered a lot of stuff. One of the questions that had come in about, 15 minutes ago was this one from a Facebook user. Love to hear some tips on building influence in area for business. I think we caught that covered, didn't we?
Yeah. So listen, here, just one note, very specifically on media attention. So there's media you do for visibility, then there's media you do for authority. Okay. Media for visibility, that's all on social. That's a podcast, YouTube, that's where the audiences are. However, there's media you do for authority. So I've been written up in Forbes and blah, 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 the TV and all that stuff. The audiences aren't really engaged. The audiences are not huge, to be very honest with you. They're not. So why would I spend my time on TV? It's because it's for the authority. It's for, if I can see, I've seen Tony Robbins come on stage and he's got his little reel. Well, they show Tony Robbins on CNBC and all this other stuff. Okay. Those are good audiences, but honestly, he does live streams and other events, way more people, but he does it. He shows that. So you see, it's that validation. So a lot of times, so what we'll do is we'll say, people will tell you they don't trust the media. They do. They do. They don't necessarily trust it, but they respect it. They respect the brand. They respect the authority. So authority, oftentimes we say, well, listen, this person over here, I acknowledge that there is perceived authority from this, and you had affiliation with them. So therefore you have authority through association, right? So now if you want that media, right? And because you want to improve your conversion rate, you want to improve your opt-in rate, you want to improve your stickiness. Someone hears, okay, Josh was on, national TV or whatever. Again, what I was talking about, you're earning 5 to 10 more seconds because they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should pay attention to that. Okay. So how do you get that media? Most people, and I can tell you as a member of the media now, writing a syndicated column, which I get spammy pitches every day, many of them. And 98% of them are just total crap. And here's the thing that pisses me off is that most of those press releases are coming from PR firms that are getting paid to spray and pray and just spam. And I feel bad for the companies and the well-meaning business owners that are like, look, I just want to make an impact in the world here. Can you help me? And they're like, yes, we will help you. Give us all your money. And then they just spray and pray. Right. Yeah. Which all these email addresses and Twitter accounts and stuff, those are all for free. You don't have to, you can find those on the TV station's website. Yeah. So I don't mean to bash. I'm bashing the bad PR firms. Anyone who's listening to this show, you're obviously not them. You're good.
It's funny. I'm like you. When I see that PR Newswire thing come across, I'm like, yeah, I'm completely ignoring that.
No journalist in the world wakes up in the morning and go, oh, I can't wait to crack open PR Newswire, see what kind of great, delicious news stories are. That's not where they get news stories from.
You pay $250 Good job.
Once in a while, it might stimulate some ideas. But here's what you want to do, right? Is you want to be a friend and you want to help. You want to be a helper. What is the job of a morning show's producer, right? Now, I'm going to tell you that stop aiming too high. If on the scale of on an authority scale, if you're a 2 right now, and that's not a slam. I mean, it's just if you're newer in business and you haven't done a lot of stuff, okay, you aiming for an 8, it's not going to happen. It's just not. So aim for small media outlets, and you have to stair step your way up, right? And when you reach out, please do so with a heart of service. Please do so from I feel like this would be great value for your audience. I'm here to serve, happy to help. I don't have anything for sale, right? How many pitches do you get like that, by the way? Everybody who's sending up press releases has something for sale. And so when everybody zigs, you zag, you get in. And this is how we've always gotten all of our media attention for Savings Angel or whatever.
Yeah. I always love it when I get a thing from a PR agent who's being paid, I don't know, $30,000 a month or $50,000 a year. And they go, and you're like, hey, we want to put our guests in your show. And I'm like, if you want to get on for an editorial or whatever, you can buy an ad and then we'll put you on just like a TV station or radio station. And they're like, oh, we don't do pay to play. And I'm like, well, who the hell is paying your salary?
Yes, you do.
Like, who's paying you?
Sorry,
like, you are the pay to play. Give me a fucking break. Kiss my
You're
ass.
all about that pay to play.
Don't shame me when you're the one eating all the pie. Like, oh, you want some pie? What a jerk you are. I'm busy eating it. Like, fuck off. I hate that shit. So thanks to my Facebook user, I'm not sure who that was. Probably, I think it's one of the groups because the groups won't feed me the names. Yeah. So it's one of the 4 Facebook feeds that we put out. But thank you. Hopefully we answer your question there. Thanks for that question. Yeah. To be honest, there was another question I had for you, and but I mean, you've covered everything. You've been amazing. Oh, the thing I was going to touch on to you too. I don't really approach my podcast guests at some product doing business with them, and I like your approach of what you're doing. What's kind of been interesting is in the last couple of weeks since we've got the book set up to launch on October 5th, is people have been buying the books that have been coming on the show, and so like it's been really weird. And I'm like, are you stalking me? Like a couple people come on the show, and I'm like. I'll see the buy come through on the pre-order, and I'm like, are they stalking me? And I'm, which they probably should because they are coming on my show. But still,
beacons of leadership. So, so I'm looking at it right now. So, beaconsofleadership.com.
Yeah. Thanks for. I'm doing to hire you, Josh.
No, I'm interested. I'm telling you, man. I book a lot of guests, and if they have something that I need, you better believe I'm gonna. That's how I hire everybody. How else am I supposed to hire people?
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy your model and amp up to 15 podcasts a week, and then that's the 15 books I can sell a week. I'm going to be rich.
There we go. But see, here's the thing, right? When you're networking and if you're deliberate about who you network with, we want to share value with everybody. But my personal time, I have to be sensitive to that. And so I want to high level networking. In my opinion, I don't know that there's anything more valuable for a CEO to do. Honestly, because just of what can happen when you're spending time with another successful business owner, they've got 30 to 40 employees or whatever. They're doing great stuff. They've got this, when you see like these huge joint venture, launches and stuff like that, and they make 7 figures in one weekend, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's that sort of thing. It's like 2 people, I have this, I've got chocolate, you've got peanut butter. And all of a sudden you got,
it sounds like a Reese's commercial or something.
That is. I dated myself. I think that was popular in the early 80s. You got your chocolate on my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter on my chocolate.
It
sounds dirty, but it's not. It's
well, that's on, we'll put that section of this on the OnlyFans account. That's a whole new, buy it again in the show segment, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Can I share something with you?
Sure. I'd love this.
I had a guest, speaking of OnlyFans, he provides professional financial services. I'm not going to say his name or anything like that, but his clients are OnlyFans folks.
Wow.
He said,
That's gotta
Josh,
be a good gig.
you have no idea. And his whole thing is like, look, it's probably not going to last real. So his approach is this money's probably not going to be coming in for decades. Like you have like a professional athlete, you have a shelf life. And so his job is like, look, if you've got 3 to 4 good years here, we're going to try and plan for the future here. But you would not, it's crazy how much money they make.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But
Hopefully
yeah, I thought that was fascinating. He also works with other like influencer stuff. People that like make money all of a sudden, like they go from broke to all of a sudden, making 6 figures a month. Yeah.
They almost lost it. They almost lost it too. They tried to claw it back and they put it back. And there are all these girls. There are all these girls that are online crying, going, "I'm gonna have to go get a waitress job." And you're like, "Wow, I feel so sorry for you." It's
a strange, bizarre world we live in where you can get paid for. Well, it's like, I remember in the old days, like you'd get mad at your kid if they were playing video games all the time. Now it's like my boys are live streaming. They've got like all these people watching them. I'm like, hey man, keep at it. Keep working on that personality because that's what, people will love you for it. So yeah, it's kind of funny be careful what you discourage your kids from.
That's true.
Because you can make money doing about anything today.
Or be careful what you encourage your young daughters to do. That's that too. It's a weird market, man, what's going out there. So we've talked about building brands. Anything you want to touch on before we go out?
The final thing. So we talked about authority, generosity, and the final thing would be platform. And here's the thing, Chris, we're on your platform right now. We're serving an audience. I'm thrilled to do so. Platform is so powerful. And here's the thing, like anybody, I don't care if you have nobody in your audience, you can go, just to give you, someone's out there and they're like, okay, I'm gonna follow this Josh guy's advice. Okay. You don't even need to have an audience in order to leverage platform. If you are a member of a group, for example, in some, not all groups, but in some groups, they'll allow you to go live. You could live stream to that group. I've done that. I'm like, I'm not even the admin. I'm just like, I'm going to provide some content to the other members of this group. And I'm going to do a live stream right now at this event because I think it's relevant. It's interesting. I'm not going to sell nothing because, that's a one-way ticket to, getting booted out of there. But here's the thing. I was at an event. I walked up to this one woman who is an authority in this field that I am definitely not. And I said, would you mind if we did a quick live stream? I'd like to promote this event. And I'd love to ask you a couple of questions. And she's like, she's going to say yes, of course. Like, I made sure that, she legitimately, just whenever you got a second, totally no problem or whatever. So then I go live and I'm leveraging platform, right? Not even my platform. Okay. I don't know, maybe, a couple dozen people watched it or whatever. But the main thing I wanted to do is I wanted to perform an active service, right? And I wanted to do something nice for this other person, right? Now, when she sees me, I'm not just some nobody. Because I go to events all the time where nobody knows me here, whatever. And so, but I found that you can network your way in to about anywhere you want to go due to generosity, and leverage it. Platform is the fastest path, in my opinion, because we all have access to it, but so few of us are truly leveraging it. But yeah, so I would encourage you, I'm a big fan of using the podcast platform, live streams. I mean, there's social media content. Everybody today is a journalist. Everybody today is an influencer of some sort, and you can use that to do great things for nice people. And as a result, great things will happen for you.
Yeah, most definitely. My dog's got a bigger audience than I do. They got their own podcasts and like OnlyFans too. There's a lot of butt licking going on there. Sorry, I'm just doing jokes, people. I don't know what that means. Anyway, Josh, it's been wonderful on the show. You've been wonderfully energetic, super thoughtful, great data. Tell us where people can find you on the interwebs.
Yeah, sure. Listen, if there's anybody who's like killing it in business, like doing well in business, maybe on the B2B side, I'm always looking for guests. There's a little bit of a wait, but I'd love to feature you. That's just what I do. I just do nice things for people. If you're not quite at that level, say you're not yet maybe at 6 figures or whatever, listen, I've got tons of free stuff on my website. You can lurk. You don't even have to opt in for anything. I'll never know you're there, but I've got videos. I've got free courses. I give away what other people sell for thousands of dollars because it's just what I do. One of our key core values is democratization. It's generosity. It's just doing nice things for people. I mean, there wouldn't be an Up My Influence if it weren't for that opportunity to serve on boards and do nice things for folks. So yeah, so when you go there, I would say in particular, I do something, Chris, it's a high ticket sales course. And if you are doing under $250,000 a year, you can get a free scholarship. It's not some big gotcha or whatever. It's free. Go get it.
Wow.
I'd love to have you.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Josh, thanks for coming on the show. Certainly appreciate it. It's glad to meet you and get to know you better.
For sure, Chris, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'll have you on my show in a couple months.
That's true. Yeah. Next month. In fact, I think it's the exact month. I think it's on the 20th next month. So
30 days from now. Looking forward to it. It'll be the day. Awesome. It'll be the day before my 50th birthday. Crazy.
Oh, wow. You're going to hit the big 50, huh?
Yeah. I just got mail from the AARP yesterday too.
Yeah.
That's one thing that'll make you feel old.
Isn't that a riot when that comes? You're like, wait a second.
I'm not AARP.
What evil
what's worse that
this?
I live in Florida, and there are communities that are 50 plus communities.
I have in Vegas too, 55
Good
plus.
God.
I'm actually thinking about moving to them because they don't have kids in those neighborhoods, so I don't have to sit and hear.
There is that. I think that's the appeal.
Ever since I moved from Vegas up to Utah for the coronavirus thing, like they have lots of kids here. You know this, and
lots of kids.
My whole neighbor, and I'm a savior sort of dude. Like if I hear someone in trouble, I'm like, I will go save you. And I'm a run in the building sort of guy. And so when I hear kids screaming, I'm like, some kid getting kidnapped or what's going on? Right? Yeah. And they're just all screaming here. And then the
kids just scream.
Yeah, it's just worse at the stores too. They're screaming, they're climbing shelves. The parents are just like, I don't know. You're like, your kid just murdered somebody, one of the Walmart people on the floor there. They're sitting there, they got a knife halfway in them. You might want to do something about that.
No, like, kids will be kids.
I don't know. Kids will be kids. Yeah. So, I used to always joke that I used to take the Utah kids and feed one to my dog because, each family has like 10 kids. They're not going to miss it. Right? Have you seen Johnny? We got another one on the way. Fuck it. Anyway, there's my Utah jokes. Anyway, thanks, Josh, for being on the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Hit the bell notification button. Also go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. All the groups you have: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all those places the cool kids are playing because we're trying to be cool. Be good to each other, and we'll see you guys next time.